Katie, I don't want to project. You look stressed? What happened today? So before we even get into this, you are the daughter of the owner of Universal Ostrich Farms in Edgewood, British Columbia.
Correct.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency, the commie bastards. These are my words, not yours. I don't want to get you in trouble with them, but if I ever have a business in Canada, it will get inspected by the CFIA. They came in after a bunch of ostriches died, tested them and said, oh yeah, avian flu, you got to slaughter your 400 plus ostriches, which have been on the family farm for over 35 years in some cases. They're healthy ostriches. You're not open to the public, at least at the time that this occurred, and they want you to slaughter all of them. You got an injunction from a judge. What's his name? Batista?
Yeah, Justice Batista.
Justice Batista, which enjoined enforcement of the CFIA's order for a month so that you could re-argue it or at least have a rehearing or another hearing on the merits to contest the order itself. And the commie terrorist bastards that they are, CFIA, I can come up with an acronym there. They appealed the judge's decision, saying the judge exceeded his jurisdiction by even enjoining the CFIA to do anything. And they want an expedited hearing on your contesting of their ruling. And that's about as much of a summary as I can give right now. What's the status? How are you doing?
We're tired, but we're good. The ostriches are still alive, so that's good. We have such an amazing rallying of support across the country and across the world right now. It's growing. This morning we got Justice written response regarding that appeal that was sent in by Canadian Food Inspection Agency. And Justice Batista has been good enough to say that no, it was very clear that when he ordered the judicial review, that stopped the culling in the time between. So he did honor them, their expedited hearing, because due to public safety and what reasons. He wants to be careful as well, I'm sure. But he's removed himself from this now, and he's putting the chief management officer. So we're getting clarification with that right now. There's a legal...
Let me stop you right there for 1 second at least.
Yeah.
The expedited judicial review is to say we're going to review the order of the CFIA on an expedited basis. So what, he had given a month? What do they want? 2 weeks?
Like Carrie was saying, when you normally get a judicial review, it usually has to be reviewed within 30 days. Mm-hmm. So that's average. We were hoping that it would just be a little bit longer. We have a lot of scientific evidence to be brought in. We have a scientific team that says, hey, listen to us. We can prove that these animals are not shedding this virus and that they pose no human threat. So that has been, I don't know, we're trying to get clarification right now if we're going to be able to bring those experts in. But something that we're kind of more worried about is that it says that here, specially managed. So he's referring now to the office of the Chief Justice for the appointment of a case management judge or associate judge to be given. So I don't know if this means that Canadian Food Inspection Agency is going to be able to bring in their own judge or their own somebody that's going to oversee this. Because if that's the case, then this is very unbiased, or this is going to be very biased, and it's not.
He's not. He didn't use the word recuse. He's not. Nope. He's not recusing himself. He's
Yeah.
So appoint a case.
Shall continue as especially pursuant to Rule 384, File T29425, shall continue as a specially managed proceeding and is referred to the office of the Chief Justice for the appointment of a case management judge or associate judge. So I'm not a legal expert. Oh, yeah, which you are.
Well, now let me just say this. I'm going to go share something. Okay. It's the order that you sent me a moment ago, right? When we were live?
Yes.
Let me see here. I need to figure if I can do this. Okay, so it's here. Now, why am I not able to see it I don't want to share the entire screen. Darn it. Hold on. I've got the order here in the backdrop. Let me just save it. Maybe that's why.
I know.
Open with preview. Okay, so maybe this is going to allow me to bring it up without sharing everything. Window here. Oh, here we go. I can do this. Okay, bam. So this is it. Katie, you're not in a rush, right?
Nope.
Okay, so it's 5 pages. We'll read it real quick, but we'll go through this order and reasons. On December 31st, the respondent, which is the CFIA, says, okay, we want to notice directing the applicant to cull the ostriches. The notice was issued after some ostriches tested positive for the avian flu. The notice was subject of an application for judicial review. Fine. Review it. We don't want to kill her off. The stay has been appealed to the federal court. In the present motion, the respondent requests the court to clarify the injunction, to indicate whether the stay enjoins the minister from exercising its its authority. Does that mean, I presume that means to actually, to kill the ostriches?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we kill them in the meantime? Did your injunction prevent us from killing the ostriches?
I don't understand how they roll out of bed at night and get dressed. It's
Further,
really
okay, let's go. Okay, and then let's hear the appeal after we kill the ostriches. Further, the respondent requests an order for an expedited hearing. Fine. Applicant argues that the clarification request falls outside the scope of Rule 397. See, I don't know what this rule is. The applicant also argues that there's no urgency for abridging the timeline. Fine. The motion for clarification of the stay is combined with the fact that the stay order is under appeal, places the judge in delicate position. The question of whether the stay order enjoins the minister from culling the ostriches is one of the grounds of appeal. The impression could be created that in clarifying the stay order, the court is attempting to insulate the stay order from appellate review. How? They're making a motion to appeal now anyhow. In any case, I agree with the applicant that the request for clarification is outside the scope of Rule 397. The scope of the rule is narrow. The respondent has not identified any matter that was overlooked or accidentally omitted. Fine. Finally, there is no ambiguity in the stay order. It clearly stayed the operation of the respondent's notice until a decision was rendered on the underlying application for judicial review. Yes, can't kill them until we have the review. The notice was issued by the respondent requiring the applicant to dispose of the ostriches in its possession, care, or control. Both parties are in agreement that the stay order relieved the applicant from compliance. Yes. In response to the respondent's request for an expedited timeline, fine. I'm satisfied the respondent's request is reasonable. Fine. Okay, nobody cares about that. So that's fine. That says basically nothing, but that just says, okay, we'll have an expedited order. No, you don't get to kill them while you're appealing it for judicial review or appeal and suspending pending judicial review. Yeah. But the judge is going to appoint a special case judge management to this file.
Yeah.
That's weird. In British Columbia.
It just has a big red flag. I mean, I just did an interview with, I don't know have you ever heard of Colonel McGregor? Douglas McGregor?
I think I follow him on Twitter.
And he's our country, your choice.
Hold on. Let me see here. Douglas McGregor.
Yeah.
I know that I've retweeted. I'll have to look that up after. But I'm fairly sure I've seen that name before. But I might be getting mistaken between Conor McGregor, who I also retweet from time to time.
He was a very interesting, well-spoken gentleman, and he's a retired colonel of the U.S. military, and has this CEO of Our Country, Your Choice. And anyways, he was saying, there should be a governor general. There should be somebody that has. Usually, they stay out of this kind of stuff, but there has to be somebody that we should be able to appeal this to, because our ostriches now, I mean, I'm sure people would love to hear that we're like 33 days, no death, no illness. It's just climbing, where they're getting healthier and stronger. They're happier than ever. And we've got lots of videos on saveourostriches.com and stuff. We're sharing lots of new videos of the ostriches and how happy they are. We did I talk to you about that? We received 19 new quarantine measures from them.
You mentioned that the last time, not the last time, but in exchanges afterwards. What were those 19? So they come in, because in the interim, you still have to quarantine. You can't leave it open to the public. There's certain things.
I mean, even our location, if you look at our geographical location, it puts us as a quarantine. We are on a dead end road. We're in the middle of nowhere. So.
Yes, but you see the geese fly over, Katie. And
I know. Ducks, they come in and out.
Yeah, and then those foxes. Okay, what were the 19 additional measures, or at least the most absurd of them?
Absurd. We have to separate our roosters from our hens because they're not allowed to breed anymore. So we have to stop breeding from almost 400 ostriches. We are to net and cover pond areas and put massive nets over them so birds.
For the birds, they will not be tempted to land when they fly over.
Right, but so now you're going to get birds tangled in this netting. You're going to get bears tangled in this netting, or whatever else, cougars. So they want us to go and put in a brand new fence in frozen rock solid ground. They want barns erected, brand new big barns they want built overnight. They're absurd. They denied our request for testing. This was the latest answer to a request that we said, let us test the animals. We're going to show you. We have scientists that are top epidemiologists and immunologists that said, we can prove to you they pose no public health threat, and they denied us that request. So they
don't have to motivate that decision, right? It's just a summary dismissal, a summary denial of request.
Yeah. So they said that even if any of our ostriches test negative, or all of them, they're all still set to be killed. So that's, I mean, they just, they said,
they need to jack up the numbers of slaughtered animals so they can make the avian flu a concern. Hold on, just so everybody appreciates, like the CFIA, it's a federal agency. I was just trying to double check who would have initial jurisdiction. It seems that they have internal mechanisms to adjudicate on the application of their own rules, but ultimately it's under the jurisdiction of the federal court in terms of judicial review. So there was a tipped question over in our locals, and it says from MSMCPA, wait a minute, now the feds are saying a judge exceeded his authority. Like at the end of the day, beyond whatever administrative adjudicators to review their own decisions, it's subject to the federal court, as far as I understand. But yeah, they said this judge exceeded his authority because they want to do it and then have a court adjudicate on whatever afterwards when it's a done deal.
Yeah. Then we're saying, just help us stop this mistake from happening and it become a mistake. Help us stop, they want us to kill our science, and we're not going to kill the science. They want us to, I did a really a thing on Chat GPT, because they do the stamping out and they keep bringing up that this is all due to their trading partners, our relationship with our trading partners. And we have to keep the H5N1 free status for our trading partners. Think about this though for a minute. I just keep saying to people, as long as we have migratory birds, we're not going to be avian influenza free. So we're chasing an absurd.
Oh, it's COVID zero. It's COVID zero.
Yeah. And then what they're really doing is they're stamping out natural immunity. And natural immunity, if we stamp out natural immunity, it's going to allow microbial overgrowth, zoonotic disease explosions, ecosystem collapse, mass extinctions. Like that's just I went into Chat GPT and said, what would happen if we got rid of all animal natural immunity? Which we're going to do if we just keep eradicating farms. And it says it will eventually lead to the breakdown of ecosystem, food webs, which is very interesting, and even human survival. So we're trying, if our animals are standing up for, the protection of your animals, of the next animals and the next animals, because it's
what's just tremendously stupid is from what I've understood, the number it's hard to identify, but they said they slaughtered 100 to 150 million birds in the States. Yeah. So there is it's the impossibility where it went from 2 weeks to flatten the curve to COVID zero overnight. And it's an impossible goal to attain, especially if the birds are not sick anymore. And they're going to say, they're saying, even if they're not sick, if they were sick, they can still be shedding and there's still a contagion risk. That's the rationale.
Yeah. And they don't fly anywhere though. And we're in the middle of nowhere. We're not selling it. We're not eating them. We're not in commercial poultries. We're nothing of the sort. Everything is being taken so cautiously and so carefully. And all we're saying is, hey, work with us. We'll look at our science. We have COVID-19 antibodies that we have proof that we're able to neutralize the Omicron variant. And we, whatever that all is, all these viruses and stuff, it's not working. The stamping out policies, the culling, the mass cullings, it's not working. Let's look at new science. Let's bring it to the forefront. Let's start protecting humanity. But that's not what they want either, right?
No, they want to kill your birds, and they want to use that incident as a terror tactic to say, well, look how serious it is now. Go get your H158. It's H5N1. Go get your H5N1 jabs. So the judge, he granted the expedited hearing. That's fine. You have attorneys in this who are on it 24/7. Do you need fundraising for those attorneys, for those legal fees?
We do. Yeah, we're in a constant legal battle. So saveourostriches.com. You can go and make any donations. It's a fight for all of your animals too. So our animals are standing in front of your animals. And so saveourostriches.com. There you can make donation. You can follow different media. You can follow other things that we have going on. And please share anything anybody can do to provide some.
Yeah, an expedited hearing, it's I say from a legal consequence, it's the least painful, except from the fact that your attorneys have to work now over 2 weeks instead of 1 month to do this. And it's going to be the same amount of legal fees just in a condensed period of time, but they're going to get you on something else after the 2 weeks. So sorry, there's a lawnmower out there, but expedited hearing, fine. The order stays in effect, fine. The judge is going to appoint a case managing judge to this case. Why that strikes me as odd is I thought under the federal court, a judge had carriage of a file from beginning to end in any event. It's not what we have in Quebec. Every time you go to court in Quebec, you end up with another judge. and it's a big pain in the ass because you have to, advise them. What's the word I'm looking for? Summary. You have to give them the whole file, and it's a new judge who doesn't understand it.
Like our doctors here.
Yeah, no, that's the bankruptcy court's a little different. You had one judge that was allocated to the file. Nice. So that's weird. And I'm concerned about who they're going to appoint. When do you know who the judge is going to appoint, or how the appointment is even going to take place?
Yeah. So I'm guessing that between today and tomorrow, we're going to find this out, especially if it's going to be an expedited process. So something I'll be letting you know as soon as we know.
I was going to say, I'll say sicking the community, but only in that we're going to go delve into which judge it is and see what I know your attorneys are going to do it anyhow, because it's what they're going to have to do is like, who's the judge? What have they previously ruled? And is there a conflict here?
Yeah. And I hope it's just that it's not a non-biased look at this and allowing us to have our experts speak, and for science to be able to do its job, which it's meant to do. We're supposed to always be, enhancing and growing science. We're supposed to be, I don't know, somehow, I didn't know science was supposed to just shut down and not grow and not.
What's absolutely wild is it's clear they do not want an adversarial process in this, which is battling experts. They don't want that.
No, they don't. Because we would be able to prove that they pose no threat, and we would be able to prove that we have an animal that is a golden animal for humanity and could do amazing things without big pharma.
If I may ask, how's your mother doing?
She is tired. She is worried every day, not knowing, but I just keep reminding her that we have such an amazing people like you and your audience. We have people that are just all rallying together that see that this is wrong. Everybody sees this is black and white. It's connect the dots. I mean, nothing lines up, nothing adds up.
The amazing thing is that, and you can see from how it works from their perspective, if you get away with this, and I'll put in quotes like Scooby-Doo, then other pesky farmers are going to say, well, no, I'd like to do my own test. And it's going to impede their ability to come in and order the summary slaughter of animals.
Yeah.
From a point of view, I understand. Yeah, it's going to make it harder for them to do what they want to do, because they're going to have an adversarial process where the subjects of their tyranny actually have recognized rights of due process.
Yeah. And we do put a big wrench into their plans. So we're just not going to back down. We're in this to stand by our animals and stand by our science and stand by what my mom has set out to do for the last 35 years. And that is, I said in the last time that she said, these animals are going to do something amazing for humanity one day. And we're here.
How old is your mom?
She's 63.
Okay, very young. I say very young. That's very young. She'll be. I mean, it could be. I picture my parents are old now. My parents are 79 and 81. I picture my mother.
Yeah, I have a paraplegic father at home too. So she's been such a gem that she cares for him at home, and he's in a full wheelchair, full lift. Full everything. And somehow every day she goes out there. And she has the support. I am by her side every step of the way, but she goes out there and she does 6 hours of protocols and quarantines. And I help care for my dad too now. But she comes in and it's phone calls, and the worry in her heart that her 35 years of her livelihood, where will she start again? And everything she believed in could just be ripped away from her. And her home could be raided by a government agency that has no authority, to take her life's work of COVID-19 antibodies and antibodies that could help mankind. It could help your mom, your daughter, your son, start thinking about this personally, because we have something that could help disease and viruses in the future that could protect one of your loved ones. So yeah, she's strong. She's amazing, but it's tiring. But thank you for all of your audiences and everybody that reaches out to us with such love and support.
Operating a farm is tiring, and now she's operating a farm and fighting. I call it a tyrannical government, just fighting actual communism, and they have the deepest pockets in the world, and this is their job. Their job is to make you miserable. I mean, I'm sure they think they're doing the righteous thing. I don't think they even do, but I'm going to give everybody the link here.
I said, you know what? This would be the perfect time for Trump to step in and say, look at what's going on in Canada. He wants to do the 51st state stuff. Shake it.
Can it happen? They're eating the cats. They're killing the ostriches. I mean, it's insane. Period. And it's enough to make you lose. Well, I don't know who has faith in the government. It's just enough to break people. So the next immediate thing, the judge is going to appoint the case manager. We'll have the internet scouring for the info on that when it comes out. The fundraiser, I've given everybody the link. The date, the time frame within which for the judicial review now has been expedited, but you don't have that calendar yet.
No, we don't have that calendar yet.
Okay.
We'll have that. I'm pretty sure probably maybe by the end of today even.
Okay.
It looks like Justice Batista coming out of the gates this morning with the written answer already shows that I think we're going to be expedited. So I'll let you know as soon as we have the name and the date.
Okay. Excellent. And then we will do a follow-up. And if ever I don't know if your attorneys, maybe your attorneys don't want this type of association heat on the internet, so they might want to stay away from me. But
no, it's good. Carrie, even having Carrie Simpson talk about, she's just helping. She's been a powerhouse in the background, helping gain the appropriate traction and find us the right defenses, to be able to help protect the science and protect the animals. So she's really good, and I'd love to come on again with her.
Okay, absolutely. And behind you, is that a West Highland cow, a random one, or is that from the farm?
Yeah, so I have my own little farm in Kelowna, British Columbia, and I have 3 cows, and a couple of them are Highlander cows, and they're my therapy. They're my therapy. My mom and the ostriches are my therapy too, but I've grown up with them for 35 years of my 43 years. So we come by it honestly. We love our animals, and
the first time I ever saw one of the, I said West Highland. They're just Highland cows.
Scottish Highlander, yeah.
It was in Scotland, and I'm going, what the heck? And the horns are warm, like the horns have blood in them, right? Because I see these were like straight out to the side, and I touch them, and they're warm. And the cow was the most beautiful animal I've ever seen. Yeah, it didn't make me want to be a vegetarian, but I still love the beautiful cow.
Yeah, no, not me either. But they have the most beautiful personality in the world. And I came home for a couple days to regroup, see my family, because we knew we had the weekend, nothing was going to happen. So I'm back out to the farm today. I'm leaving.
Amazing. Yeah. We'll do the follow-up. Keep texting me. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what I can do. And we'll catch up when there's news to catch up on.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you for all your audience and everybody.